Now, I don't know if this particular news it is something at the National Democratic Congress or Mashada Ashisha Toho or not. But the big question is right now, the more details are ever, say we have a project 2028 at NDC party, it is a Mashisha tour. For the starters, we try to present this news in the beginning and a year life, all of a sudden, a go off. So we are coming once again back to actually give this news and finish the unfinished business. So let's start off. President John Dramani Mahama Odini Akupim ewa China. For those of you who follow no, so I realize Odini Akupim ewa China. Boko PM wa China no odin sembia kwa tuja masansam no da kwa tuja na man for party say it is giving like Jaina no Opoku Agyeman, okay, so be replacing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama before the 2028 elections. On this same platform, we told you Sekine Japan was going to what announce to be president or be running for president. People said we were lying. I remember people calling me and telling me fake news. We told you again that Maumia was going to be the flag bearer in 2028 or a flag bearer no 2024 a flag or be lose elections. No, it also came to past. Now we are telling you that based on all of these permutations and in the MR clearly the NDC once again is moving towards making sure that Jaina Opoku Agyeman will be the president of the Republic of Ghana come 28 January 2029 January and 2029 January 7 2029 and 7 January 2029. Why am I saying I'm saying that because of in summer His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or the Ababe Tuja. So for starters, in Yedi Kanka and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or PM or China. Now China no or PM no. A particular program and a President Xi Jinping, who happened to be the Chinese president, or Tun Safre, a Ghana's president, say Ombra. Now this particular program theme da no a woman empowerment and a girl child say a beboa yinyano mumba ye mamemo ewiase. Now President says something at the end of his statement. I mean, okay, immediately statements no obvious in some kind pe. And a flyers start say airdrop for Naana Opoku Agyeman. Ebinye. Osha has here this coming from the John Dramani Mahama the campaign team. You can see yes she can at the background. Professor Naana Opoku Agyeman for 2028 and for president in 2028. And this is coming from the National Democratic Congress. Remember I said just last 2 weeks a person will make a similar remarks Haruna Iddrisu. Before I bet to us on you will video more because this particular in summer airban we need to look at it from both angles. Now let's put this on the screens. If you are near question in summer John Dramani Mahama or Kaya or party say mami Naana Opoku Agyeman or GD say she will be the person who will be replaced. So let us put this particular thing at His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or Kaya. Shall say it for and there two screens no. Or say President John Dramani Mahama celebrates strides in gender equality and women's empowerment, highlighting his role as African Union champion for gender, the election of Ghana's first female vice president, and growing female representation in leadership. This was what John Dramani Mahama said in China. China no war flags in way China. He expressed optimism that women will continue to break barriers. The next statement ended this and that Ghana will soon see its first female president. Why would John Dramani Mahama say this at the time about power crazy 1 year? So clearly you could see say she be towards a Naana Opoku Agyeman. Mahama could say okay, 2027, I'm resigning. Naana take over. So Naana can take over from Mahama and be president, and now say Naana ultimately the de facto next NDC flag bearer obeying to me about it. To that effect, there's a video a person will share. This particular video details what John Dramani Mahama said in person, suggesting say Naana Opoku Agyeman either so be there and she will be the next vice president, the next president of the Republic of Ghana by hook or crook. In same way about
my country Ghana remains steadfast in its pursuit of gender equality and the empowerment of our women. Under my leadership and in my capacity as the African Union champion for gender and women's empowerment, the government of Ghana has continued to take decisive steps to mainstream gender across our national development policies. We've achieved historic milestones, including the election of Ghana's first female vice president and the unprecedented appointment of women to leadership positions in government, the judiciary, the security services, and key national institutions. These are not just symbolic gestures, they are deliberate affirmation that women deserve a seat at the table of the highest levels of decision-making. And I am confident that in the very near future, our women will break the glass ceiling and there will be a woman president of the Republic of Ghana.
So this was the exact statement that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama can say. Very soon, there will be a woman president. Now, this is coming at a very crucial time. Global Info Analytics release a poll say NDC forum say yahwe woman be lead party na nipa otoso first Haruna Iddrisu with 27 points. The second person Esiedin Ketia. The third person Ato Forsen and Julius Debra editor Honorable Okujocha Blacka also Senator Rollins at 4% and others like Joshua Alabi and also Nkono almost 3%. But the top three contenders here Haruna Iddrisu, Esiedin Ketia, and Ato Forsen. And if you look at the graph and you look inside this particular bar graph you realize that the only woman in here is Senator Rollins. Now there were calls at NDC for BBC say Adinta ni Alpha Jena nanka ho. Okay, remember I said this argument also a bra Musa Dankwa quote TV3 NDC Penini Bisa and said, why didn't you add Jenana? And a Musa Dankwa chair said, Yamfa Jenana anka post no because or yaredo. Yashen health now said you is giving Atamil's vibes. Mufan Chemi is giving Atamil's vibe. Intino Yasha said you own team executing a Juma. Into the press and the man is on your flag bra bia now win to me. But clearly you could see say NDC for no omutri say because their government is going on so well and they are the most popular government currently I say have elections and now maybe in their overwhelming majority no clearly no obi obabedi mahama debia and the person does not need to work and do any gidi campaign and the NDC want to maintain this particular front. Ocean report that number one on the screen sir Haruna Iddrisu with 27%. So you may be thinking sir Haruna Iddrisu want me to be the education minister no perhaps no what say Jena na be replacing no and as obey a potential flag brand ebe ne ya they be in fact Haruna Iddrisu was the first person to say that Jenana eba be president. These NDC people are talking to us in what? Idiomatic expression and they are talking to us in proverbs. Now, there's a video here because Haruna Iddrisu edin same be aba betuja. These same Haruna Iddrisu are or the potential next flag bearer per Global Info Analytics edit you could see here say Haruna Iddrisu can say them. It is my prayer that God will give you long life and good health so that probably you'll be elevated to become the first female president of the Republic of Ghana. Why would he say this if Haruna Iddrisu now or education minister no or no any the next potential flag bearer per the post and then some Global Info Analytics ediaba. So clearly to me say ashad not all after Mahama nipa oba Nana and no one can change anything, not even Esiedin Ketia. Now there's a video to that effect. Yam question in Sammy from the horse's own mouth in Sammy Haruna Iddrisu about Jenana being the next president of the Republic of Ghana.
Pride and honor and grace to want to welcome you back to the Ministry of Education, this time in an elevated capacity as the first female vice president of our republic. In fact, it is my prayer that God will give you long life and good health, that probably you will be elevated to become the first female president. That Allah grants you that strength. For I've been in cabinet with you at least the first session of a cabinet and the second session of a cabinet. And I can say without fear of contradiction that you remain an unquestioned champion of education and gender rights and gender interests and inclusiveness generally in the pursuit of government policy. So I should have just sung Mami Ding and then I say I'm fine. See you as you arrive at the Ministry of Education.
So clearly you could see, say, Haruna Iddrisu, who is tipped to be the next flag bearer, and he's saying, say, see, this it is too early. Perhaps I need to be the vice president. So I can fill in the presidential shoes when the opportunity arises. So clearly, if Haruna Iddrisu is saying, say, the next person to be the president, I'll be the first female president of Ghana, Naana. The question is, who is Esiedin Ketia and Sebio, your friend is saying, your Papa Julius Debra, to stop him, to stop them, and to stop her. Clearly, a tactics or say no. The National Democratic Congress, or Mosha, they have an overwhelming majority in parliament now. They are still popular, and clearly, they're on track to win the 2028 elections. And Sebio, Sana Midi Kankano, Ubia be presenting Ibiano because of the good track system of a year, John Dramani Mahama so far, and Obi are representing Ibia, the person will be poised to win. The person will be poised to win the general elections in 2028. And the question is, then why don't we present Obia Sebio at the end of the day, bit making history? Say, okay, and you did the first fancy president yes, you did the first vice president or your babaye. Yes, you did the first president or your ba eba. Na eno ye silly combo no. Na say in semna ye pepepe, and this is exactly what is really going on. Once again, this is just based on the analysis and how we've stipulated and also assessed all of these things especially the statements coming from all these factions of people. You could clearly see said the NDC is on a war path to make sure that the next flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, undoubtedly, Naana. But as to whether the likes of Esiedin Ketia and co will agree, because already class now the flyer and the start print here and media two screens also. So as to whether Esiedin Ketia and co will agree, said it be a dune dear, oh dear young fajina now Poko Ajima and co, because or a vice president who how things are going or experience and at the end of the day, that is a ultimate and twaso. Now, there's also other school of thought say, Haruna Iddrisu is tipped to be the potential flag bearer of Madam Naana Opoku. Should she be the next de facto your friend is saying president of the Republic of Ghana? This is because all the ministries now nipa on Madam Naana I just say or Madrin Eko Benkromu pa they really click pa Haruna Iddrisu. So it's very evident and clear say should she Madam Naana Opoku obey na adin so person rania, you could clearly know say immediately or na adin so person rani pe nipa or your potential flag bearer of Madam Naana Opoku. Ultimately, to me and per what is really happening on papa Haruna Iddrisu. Once again, this is just based on all the observations there's no paperwork to it. So if you are really taking this, take this with a pinch of salt. Meaning say Haruna Iddrisu the fans Esiedin Ketia fans started the dim attempt our comment section who says Sebio inim de yeka, but then ultimately yet has say na Sebio bibi esi. So that is exactly what is really going on in regards with the big news on how issues are in regards with whatever is really going on, especially with the fact say John Dramani Mahama who share Chinese President Xi Jinping. I mean, no say Chinese President ebra ushia John Dramani Mahama no just na ni aji ye part is enye asem ketwa. So that is exactly what is really going on right here in this particular country for Menno say there's also a breaking news in regards with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Menno say there's more info at the end of the day but then we are also looking at how all of these things will definitely go into play right here on this particular platform, Pinaxtv. It's therefore moving on. Now, moving on, we've been giving you updates. Says Sammy Gyamfi is one of the persons here over Ghana and so she pa or ni position ye beji. Sammy Gyamfi or ni position ye beji ye best sakeno. Now, I did make us Sammy Gyamfi ye best sakeno. Kofu Bent, who happened to be one of the co-founders, of Imani Africa. Or the betu just said, on Rankasa, the observation, gold board, Sammy Gyamfi, Edanwa, or ye CEO, no, 10 years. Gold board, no, gold na, procure nyano. Ni nyinaa no, most of them, and as a 90% of sa gold ni nyinaa efi eye galamsey for ho. So at the end of the day, ebra eye Imani Africa, omo co-founder Kofi Benson, oye lawyer, osanso ye business person, any entrepreneur, any all the accolades no. Odibe tuja no, this ansem ni tuja no. People were shocked because this is Imani Ghana saying this. So does it mean say gold board no an avenue NDC for aye omudi ton illegal gold if you galamsey for omuvia no masanso aye omo say anoma okode okojina insonu etifina oro na yefia no abegina na fo no bisa say eye wan na aye ne sa. That is that session na Kofi Benson make say gold board now omo now omo say beto gold from licensed miners to they are dealing with galamsey operators. So you see or say ebra Kofi Benson make this assertion pay this story na bro and na your friend is saying okuju to Sammy Gyamfi live into the studios of TV3 and just say oni Kofi Benson mudi see ni a enya asem ketwa me no ka say Sammy Gyamfi ehun say be ansem no kono he could be losing his job, especially now that John Dramani Mahama over China. He's looking at all of these things. Therefore ya no see Sammy Gyamfi say see no dey before forever o share the whole screen so Sammy Gyamfi say gold board to be able to track and trace source of every gram of gold purchased in Ghana by April 2026. So Sammy Gyamfi is like partially saying, you know, sometimes gold near tunnel, yet you see a tofi, small scale miners. Be a name say nipa no de be small scale miner no, sebu or a galamsey operator, and answer sebu or a legal registered miner. It is some of the gold need be there. A bit me think for or me galamsey for, but we don't buy or deal with galamsey operators. And until Apache said to solve this particular problem, what he and then the gold board or mo say gold be a baby and a baby serial number. It is for some cano. Every gold that will come will have a serial number. The serial number no, ye track it be say gold no if he has say any buy. So na be at the end of the day, you beat my checks and balances. Say okay. 1 pound of gold they are tono if he Kojo Minta Mining Company Limited. Inti bit ma frɛ Kojo Minta say Kojo Minta if he ha na one of the maya na for receipt bra. Say be at the end of the day no they can do the track and trace. Now Osha has say so the ma case no aye kwa among for parties say Sammy Gyamfi he still risks losing his job. Aye in sema the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Odibe Tuja said Ghana, DBI fighting galamsey, no. It is costing the country $10 billion. So $10 billion as in we not getting the gold enough, and as a $10 billion as in we trying to fight the illegal purchase of another the illegal mining of gold. These are big questions that is regardless, no, the gold board together with the Minister of Lands and Resources is ratcheting up its measures. Measure ben omo ratchet up. The measure ni is so simple. Say see ano omo the system be basen bi kan na they can track the gold. And you know Sammy Gyamfi ebe posti bibi e social media. I think we can get that before ebe call yes ansem na ye can also. So there's a screenshot to that effect. Sammy Gyamfi some of the strategies as you see ano they are putting in place because sana midi kan no ne djuma no edam pan. Or yeah, you best sack no, because there's petition to sack Sammy Gyamfi. Future has say or say the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa has revealed the staggering potential financial scope of the anti-galamsey effort, stating the comprehensive fight against illegal mining cost the nation an estimated 10 billion. So now Minister say against galamsey, Ghana is losing money. Then Daily Graphic came in to say Gold Board is now and I will be able to track and trace every source of every gram of gold produced in Ghana by April 2026. From now on, say if this gold board they are dealing with galamsey operators, unfortunately, no, yentimi solve issue ni sisia. So straight up, no, Sammy Gyamfi ebe posti here together with a link. Yenko link no so enunye. So this is gold board on website. Now, if you for scroll it down, you will understand exactly where we are coming from. You could see here, say, or see, this was released yesterday, October 13, 2025. Mumbo Misima, very current. Gold Board's track and trace system commences in first quarter of 2026. CEO Sammy Gyamfi. So Sammy Gyamfi Apache say, based on Nsema Airbar, Kofi Benson and Co. are saying, say, the agency Gold Board, no, they are dealing with galamsey operators or say, okay, then let us create a track and trace system with serial numbers. Send a then the gold be able to be able to fire by and the source. Yenche. Also, the Ghana Gold Board is set to implement and integrate its track and trace system aimed at ensuring ethical and transparency sourcing of gold. The system, which is scheduled to begin the first quarter of the year 2026, according to Sammy Gyamfi, the Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board, will help eliminate fraud and trace every gram of gold produced in Ghana and purchased by the Gold Board by the Gold Board to its source. So Sammy Gyamfi a part say, okay. So Ghana for complaining say Gold Board is involved in illegal purchase of gold from the galamseyers. Yeah, any the system we are ban say gold be a beto biano. Ye be ma a particular number bit ma tracy. Yen to aso. Or see, the CEO made this disclosure on key points on news analysis program on TV3. So a bra Kofi Bentil this session or can sign some TV3 no. Sammy Gyamfi phone in no pass see ane there tie how ye be assistant. The big question is, why didn't Sammy Gyamfi say he was going to do this? If Imani African because a Gold Board is in direct cahoots or they are sleeping with galamsey operators at the end of the day no and come back kasa this same Gold Board or Maxi be on friend minors or said some minors no they are fighting against illegal mines, so they buy the gold. No matter so trauma say you forming committee a fighting galamsey. It doesn't make sense if this is true. Yen to aso also to aso say we have given timelines that by first quarter of next year we will have fast-tracked the track and trace system, which has never happened in Ghana since Ghana became Ghana. The system will allow us to trace every gram of gold board or gold produced in Ghana and purchased by the Gold Board to its source, he said. The track and trace system or track and trace initiative is a key component of the state agency in its bid to strengthen its vision of sanitizing gold trade and promoting compliance. This requirement is enshrined in Section 31X of the Gold Board Act 1140, which was passed by Parliament in 2025. In the party says, "See, I know the in some Sammy Gyamfi be and yes, be as be butrimika Parliament a pass it. By the first quarter of next year, that's between next year January to April, no, it should actually come to pass." Osanso 12 said gold is bought in offices in districts. I said gold is bought in offices in districts and in regional capitals, not directly from mining side. So when a buyer in Koforidua receives gold nuggets or powder, that person may have the technology to confirm whether the seller is lying since he explained. And all parties say amount for no the gold band. They don't bring gold in pounds. The gold never sell you in pieces like bracelet and now in pebbles. Kitinkete sa na eye wonwa omu eye license sellers no and license dealers no, they either mine it and turn it into a gram, weigh it and sell it to gold bond. He said the technology no ebe kwama sa wonwa omu ton ema gold bond omu na sa technology no be use. I don't know how this will work, because if the technology is going to these middlemen, how can you ensure that the middlemen will comply and not buy cheap gold from the galamsey operators? Regardless, Yentuaso. President John Dramani Mahama in this year, June, reaffirmed the Gold Board's strong commitment to promoting responsible and sustainable mining in Ghana. Speaking at the Mining in Motion Summit, President Mahama announced the Gold Board will soon introduce a track and trace system to ensure the ethical and transparent sourcing of gold. So, according to Sammy Gyamfi, Parliament it has been signed and approved. This is basically a dear Gold Board for Omatnasi. I prepare no mean say baby and Sam no corner amount for say yeah your friend is saying Gold Board no, we are in bed and I see and one more illegal mining and ye damn paba so ye dealing in illegal gold no ye perceive you make it be say transparent and at the end of the day no ye to gold now obi nko jam baby nka say illegal miners say ye see ye galam say ba ne say na de bi omu to gold no munya buyers. Meanwhile, the largest purchase and a buyer of gold in this country is a Gold Board. Inti enam he efa he eni mi nua bia asem aye oka o say ye nua ne sen na ambene e asem ye nua ne sen na e na ambene. So that is exactly what is really going on in regards with Insema there is or there has been a lot of issues in regards with Kofi Bentil in some of the two na or exposing and answer or alleged say gold board CEO Sammy Gyamfi Umbra number answer. How come say most of the gold purchaser amu making and amu making said you I say if you can I'm say for what Sammy Gyamfi and kasa ababeka say idea say you enye no kre I say akoye nsem bible. So you need the indemnity. We are following this issue very closely and are very clearly, and at the end of the day you be making sure say whatever really is going on, remember more updates. Once again, we are live. Yes, sir. Into person audio comment about now at the end of the day, you know, audio comments about now what you think about all of these things at air cost, because once again, in same P I was say right here on this particular platform. I just say in some cost need the a so we'll be very much happy to get your comments and send your in some also in regards with the various happenings at Ecoso in the Republic of Ghana. All right, it's here for it once again. We are still on the case. Yebabe twaso, and then yewonyema bibria ye can wansem, especially on this particular platform. But then you can't bibri wansem. Inti yebabe ko the next issue, which is an issue I mean, can say they are air trend right here in this particular country, because definitely there is a lot of things air course I was yet discussing. Now, we give you an update, say, Papa Safo Kantanka wewu. Now, it's obvious, say, a title for you, mewu, Ghana, especially within this particular, from, I guess, Ebeninano, their family members are fighting big time. Osha the course that Lumbe Busimwa, Eseweni, the Enyase catch out. The same thing is also happening in Safo Kantanka's family, because the family members of Safo Kantanka, at the press release, two just say, Papa ne wudie, but be biara, one Safo Kantanka ba, I find Safo Junior. Safo Kantanka Junior, Jumano, Mesrel, any do be on any regards to the funeral, no, a wrong move. Illegally, no, legally, no, illegal, which is in Bremuno, dear. And what's that? Deal with the family directly. Also, your party say, Safo Kantanka Junior, no, he is not made to represent anything of Safo Kantanka right now till the family determines so. So clearly, you could hear say, and you could see say there's a friction. And I said there's a huge fight which is going on in the family. Now, no, Osebo the Zara man, Eddie Simi Betu just say, in some way, you know, Kosono, sorry, Oko, friends, Apostle Kojo Safona, sorry, Christo Safono. They are fully aware. Now, a brand say, be more time, na ni ye be and omumpe, or can answer we, Nana room you so no so, okay, FM. Now, me no can say this same, your friend is Osebo the Zara man or call Safo Kantanka so or the ababe to just say sisi ano amount for asati push says Sarah Joseph on what techi and o pushy to make sure say ni nua be Safo Junior no at the end of the day no he will not get his rightful place in the inheritance in regards to the inheritance of Safo Kantanka, especially in himself on now the CEO of Kantanka Otomoboni and the but then me no ka Osebo the Zara man e believe say san semi na ekoso no a weapon idea Safo Junior and a teacher o make sure at the end of the day best say ye nuaba Sarah Joseph ni din eti for yenko tin some of the tuja ye baba ka be to aso
enuanom no bie nu a tan kwadu ne mum ne ye bi ene bi agusua ne mpe enu nti ene de aba no aba ade nto mo ye enuanom bebre no no nkwa na agusua ne decision ba say ma obi an contact no mfa sikasem ene ade bia ema no ade ntra wo bisa ho say ade ntra e ya sem sebe enti wuni mu a munya nya mokeka no wa pese odi matam me atam didie no me honam no me kuta thick skin. I don't lie. Me ntwa to mpapa kwa no na oye de nya me wiase nya ngu se wutwa to me maame no na oye de nya me wiase nya ngu se wutwa to. Why? Because at the end of the day no me nshira emfi won nsem me se efe rade eni se rade mu se me penipa ni man munyam ne mo me ye de nya de a se munyam no me nya ne enya no tina. For that reason I don't care about what people will tell me or say about me. Media say me kan kwa manya me ni nso nya me kan no me peni mani munyam enti me ye bribe me ye mu se kodo no kan tram say me kan kofo na ye bribe mu man ye no me yes no you know. And me I will be the last person say me betray papa, because whoever I am today papa and mama ye ni me ye on of farming 1986 a ban in chain or farm set ne doba. Now, yenya sabi obisa bina and I stop giving information to a Jagrada. Me ma a Jagrada information. So on finally. That's all no call team and information. No the betuga no a fake prophet. So Jagrada team me Mr. Woman you must make catch no. Then you me yan no. That's all be cadia. Na Jagrada or a fake prophet. Me fa information bia ma Jagrada. The Jagrada kenya wo hu ye. A Jagrada ka say papa be kwa nyankonton beto insu beto 3 days muni Ghana ha mo ehu sa asem so na papa ka che ne ba adwoa sa adwoa eda nyankonton beto enumere sa ne insu beto 3 days no na minimo di nkra adwoa nim kwadwo enim ntimo madwene ne sai papa ko ye mo de nyankonton ne toto nyankonton etoto rough obaso chem say nyankonton no eye ne dia say na o kan say ya wo no na atwa no hosia no wo de nyankonton ni di agro ayampa wo gidi o wanye ani o eno will not change the fact say na onye nipa wo gidi o wanye ani o eno will not change the fact say papa na onye nipa. God damn it bullshit mo ho na mo ya mo say na madwene susu a enche na obi atime nyamo na wa say madwene ba mesibo me obi ntime say madwene obi ntime ntomadwene mo musa akofra no kancham sasebo ye to nadwene ana yetime convince no nobody on this earth and a bit me yi madwene free papa ho because I was nobody whoever I am today because of papa onunti ena mo hu se nam social media me koya do ye bia na me dia to ho no legacy a wodi jai ne binu no ena ye num bi se ye fa muni ma me catch them enti munya mo pa adoa muni na tem muni adoa tem enkosi next year it will not change the fact say oye papa no ba panyini na papa yi ne mpaboa ne nase mpaboa de hye no 20 years ago as it will not change the fact say onene ohima wa sorry mu na ye ohima enisi hine munko bisa kwadwo na on kanchem until Paul say nobody can stop reggae. Papa ni nyuma no pepa ye nobody can stop reggae. What you say? What you say? Obia ye man ye papa ti ase no or the ni leader. Osa e de ni CEO of all the Kantanka eyi. Now or your former. Enya adwa na amra ye former but any papa and the strip will be down naked and sound order. Kwadwo nkasa ya aware of the American. Enti videos na old video na papa kan no asempa or they betu dwa or they betu social media and their bloggers so mum post no just to get attention from the public, you know. That will not help him at all. Adintra because the public, you know, sympathy now open. They have no hands in the decision of the elders of the church. They have no hands. Na mo benku papa ni munyam se no onyi nipa bi keke ono onyam fumso onyam fumso emfa na ti nya obi a oba obesei ade bi a wa bre fitim fitiase aye no omfa na ti nya obi a sada. Aside that papa oba panyini e wo ho and for the fact say ofa akwadwo edini yesa no for the fact say ofa akwadwo e kan ne ho nsem bibiri na odi dwumadie bi e share ne nsa akwadwo pese block obi be block man na odi adwuma share ne nsa no enkyere say kwadwo ene ne bapanyini a blocking no ha. So for the fact say papa edi kwadwo esi ni naso ni CEO ni bibia no enkyere say ontime nsesa no mato menentua ekura wose maka menwe ena menwu say ayi papa bi so bai be kan say papa so no daye abeka che ne say on friend e badwa na adwa mra ono papa ne nchen na ono papa no everybody say ya na be because isi ehun to ayi a eba kwan a aboa bi atimi wura mu bi na ka obi a woni mu bi isem obeda abaka bi anka obeden abaka bi bani nyina ye so onyankopon nipa bi aba wiase a saa mani wi ofam Absalom enya Absalom be ye na adwene say obebi trade papa David there be kwadwo from day one kwadwo anya na adwene say no ope no ana say maybe ba obeye former CEO but nkofo bia omusoso no mu eye no yodium wa bra papa nkasa ka say ade na ode so awo no emodu mema nkofo onye yodium wentie na wo ma nkofo yodium owi o ka te nkofo no say ade na me de so ameba na emodu ntumo nso ma monye ne yodium na ma mpene na mo ye no yodium na de besie enya asi samoni ewu madada akole ya ama ya no former CEO obi a ope wasem ene de wo ya ade na enya otufo obi a ope wasem ene ne wo ya ade na enya otimi kasa esi wani enya de obejeje so to wasem ne wo ya ade na enya otimi chiw trust se menua de wo ye enye enti menye bi mu sa kwadwo muni mafutu dodo amede atu no se kwadwo tie meme se bo menko amenu masama anka woda so ye leader anka oba ka kisa fo ma nyina de ntoma begu fom ama onu kwadwo wa faso mu sa no se man kantre no a enti mu ma ni nua ba adwoa mu ma adwoa ho nto no na abusua no so ho nto wo mu na de e koso no abusua no have no hands they are acting based on papa instructions enti mesra mo mu nnim hwe no munye ko mu until say ye be leader foforo no e na mu be mu say papa no ana say san nsem wi no na ye nim e na ye de anokotum. What do you guys know? We live in a country that sebe and some phone and your so mo amode man watum bedwe no papa ti ase no mo hwan na obo no hu dawuru mo hwan e na kan papa wasempa mama ye honto ye wate na me insult amuri be di me mo be kan afa me ho ene ade nyina ha me sebo because atem di Yesu kwa di na tem me nya asofo na yidu matem a na o ma asoma o mo boy se so mo kwaka bi no e sa na papa kan tanka o di kire mo wasa yes sir adwoa on time ni nua kwadwo na nkasa kra so on time adwoa papa ka se obey omu sulia medase onia medase mango medase papa ka se we mu me omu sulia me na odi mi di agro we na ha ye kwa ho nti nya nsem nyina na metima ka kakra kwa maka no kwa no na nkeni kwa se me kampo monya asafofo de mahu bia mo ka no monwene ho na daate mu benum ho mo amudi adwo atem na mudi abusu na atem me kwa de mudi matem kwa ha me mo nyina mo benum ho efiri se no kre no by December ending na no kre no adaidi nti wo asebe wanye hu nyansafo na wote obi asem na wa mbisem na do wa no kotum ko gina ba ko achi na wudi na tem no ho na bo se sebe why your foolish element for the fact say obi ayekom no nche se oni asem kan adwoa eni ni nuanom no omo ntan na nakwadwo akofana wo obi antan no ye pena sem papa ne moni ne ye enema bi wo ya na ye mpe sa niema na wo ye ne mu bia na stripping it down am obey former CEO no more leader of the church and no more CEO ene na momu ni mabusa mo se sa hwa na ye no former no enya adwoa na abusu na ye no sa wo eye papa nkasa na ye no obeye no ansana okoda enti nya adwoa ene ni nuanom na abusafo ena koja ba esi wa muka say papa ne tiase no one ne bana ena okoye ena mo ye ni say yes sir good morning
So that is exactly what is really going on. But then still on for Sarah for today, she went to Parliament and something remarkable did happen. Ubekai said 2020, after the 2020 elections, you see 2021, there was a call for Ghana to have a new speaker. And Sarah for then, she was a nursing mother na Owa Bruchiri. And ultimately, Oba back now, Omo cast votes, MPP on the side now or just majority by one, but obi breaky bounce a voting as Speaker Abang Bagben. Emma Speaker Abang Bagben, even though NDC was minority then in Parliament, Utminya ebeye the Speaker of Parliament. So the question is, who was that? Reports by was pointing to Sarah Adrasafo, but then today Sarah Adrasafo echo Parliament. Obviously, Okotun Krasa, ye papa safu kantanka webu into Koshia Speaker Abang Bagben. But then Speaker Abang Bagben, Ebra was share Sarah Adrasafo no see. Misha one there are things here I need to clear. There's a video to that effect if I share. And I'll say among four cases Sarah Adrasafo and the voting mame. Tiasemoha or say Adrasafo is my daughter, but she did not vote for me to become Speaker Abang Bagben. Adrasafo is my daughter, but she didn't vote for me to become speaker. There's a video to that effect. Yeah, I could see some Sarah Adrasafo or the two.
I call her my daughter because the time I used to come there, she was a small girl. So I started calling her my daughter before she joined politics and came to join me in Parliament. And she remained my daughter. But we belong to different political traditions. So because she's my daughter and we love each other, even when I was contesting to be speaker, they thought she voted for me. I want to assure all of you that she didn't vote for me. And that was a false accusation. And she suffered the consequences. She voted for the position of her party, not for me. I'm using this opportunity to dispel that decision because it's still hanging around. And people are still using it against her. Because I know those who voted for me. I've been in this system for long. And I know the business of politics. So I know those who voted for me.
So that was a light moment. Speaker Abang Bagben she shared with Sarah Adrasafo. Regardless, Sarah Adrasafo also or Tunamanie as to why she is there at that particular point in time. You think some of the tuja ye babaka ye betwas.
The leadership of my father's church, Research and Mission Company, workers at my father's technological institutes, like one of that, his security and other persons who worked together with my old man. We're here simply on one mission. We have spoken, but officially and traditionally we're supposed to come and formally communicate to you what has happened in your own home, your brother's home, which is that on the 11th of September, your brother, before then, wasn't feeling too good. So we took him to the hospital. They did whatever they had to do. Unfortunately, we lost him through the process. And since then, I'm sure Mr. Speaker, respectfully heard in the news and other quarters, but it's only proper and respectful that as the family, as close as we are with your brother, my father, we come and formally inform you of the passing of my father, also Emeritus Iddrisu Kantanka. He has been a pillar and a great son of this country. He has worked with numerous successive governments and supported a lot of our youth in this country. And so we are not here only because of the institution and the seats that you occupy. It's all part of it, but we are mainly here because you were part of his family. You were his brother, and you even knew him before I entered Parliament. So it's only proper that as a family we come and inform you. That's why we're here. And as you said, we're here to take directions, we're here to take instructions, we're here to take advice from you as the father that he left behind for us, so that we can all together plan a befitting burial and funeral for your brother. So that's
It's here for same way and Sarah address for edituja. So Obekaya speaker, one thing a man be speaker abang bagbin the fact say votes no or be from the opposition side no vote speaker abang bagbin and the concerns were say Sarah address for. So according to speaker no all kinds of parties say she's known Sarah Addressa for so long, even before I said Obeba Parliament. So people thought, say, because of the special relationship he had with Sarah Addressa and then Papa Safo Kantankano, it was very obvious, say, Obi breaking ranks, no vuti ama a speaker Abang Bagwin. But the speaker Abang Bagwin parties in Parliament, no, if you've been there for long, you know how the business operates. Remember, Speaker Abang Bagwin, currently he's the longest serving member of Parliament. Ghana's parliament right now. So aside from he being a speaker, and of course a senior member, na class prefect, so he knows the in and out very well in parliament. No, I just say, sometimes the two political opponents, parties, was some vote, but then ultimately say, a from the other side, a vote, Emma Obi. Vote man the opponent, but a banner sa na what would teach because I will be someone say now when they vote here and a speaker bang back when a party so it sounds so no more or no ye penny and no name the in and out no he knows the person out vote man no but so catch a gun of Unyan say nipo vote man no unfortunately to our surprise no and yes Sarah Addressa for. So the question is, if it is not Sarah Addressa for, who voted? Who voted for him to become speaker? Why did this plus one votes? No, a man. Is it Formina MP? Is it Sarah Addressa? Is it Kennedy Japan? And a man votes. Who did that? Well, that is a very big question. At the end of the day, I think so for centuries and years to come, we will basically live to find out. So that is the issue I echo in regards to Sarah Addressa and a speaker Abang Bagwin. Straight up, the camp of the University of Ghana, Legon, Guru, NKZ, and La Paz Toyota. Check. I'm not too saying you. Now, Menoka say Guru is in hot soup. Obeka said last year he won the the University of Ghana elections for a SRC president. Owini to say one of the flyers crane there to screen. So a Guru, the real name near Maradona Eje Yeboah, and a J late. Also the real name near Jeffrey Edu Yeboah. Or no any advice, but then Minoka say they are former because you are in 2025 all level 300 and or G position. You see all level 400 no or the position now more for because level 300 students no almost all match because we momba be school and a guru and then the vice on baby. But Minoka say in same biaba because SRC week now University of Ghana Legon or Moya they were supposed to have certain artists on board, but unfortunately I'm party say flop here and news about say SRC Eshadama Guru Sika budget say on fine SRC week, but apparently it's say or links with friends our industry from my so bra they betray my why betray my neighbor 2 shows in my so they menewa this can also the high artists and I say or the fat artists no be performing no our pocket. These were the allegations and fly on social media papa or things I'm on the book and so because SRC week now apparently it didn't really go on well. People are blaming him for embezzlement of funds, and trust me, these are very very tough. It's Mr. Please take it light-hearted. You better on the back-to-back. The ain't sema guru edituja.
Na enkreya fre papa event organizer na ka che ne say ordinary sika bemu obeboka. Hey, nanti when na mo de where the chichire Ghana. Hey, na mo Jimmy ana. Hey, mo ya mwasa. No, ye wie no. Omwa nana omo de show mo tim. Hwe, won hu se no omo posti flyer say. Omo SRC week. A flopping. What happened to the SRC week? The same microphone na no omo e ka kire me colleagues artists na omo ba na omo e ka kire omo se mo omo mba no. E share flyer say what happened to the SRC week? Muma Jimmy ana. You know why? Nyanse bi anim. Hwe one ma Jimmy fo anhu se wa Jimmy a obekoso a Jimmy. One new one na why worried that me ye course. Me free we na me free artist we. Oh, Charlie, oh okay, no problem, you go come. Oh no problem. No more for chira ko free nipa na kan kire ne say. More ma. Meanwhile, we niska. Meanwhile, we see Capra approve here. Ya approve kure bedi 2 months and sana near real school. Usi kani saying 200,000 for SRC week. Na SRC week, we jade. Na stage light cry saying. Stage light cry saying. Stage light sounds. Stage a yejina su keke. Ope standard. Te said here, kwaku smoke. Album launch now we are now. Do you know that? Kwasia unim how much money e come? 700,000. 600,000. Wo budget a for SRC week now 200,000. Ayo kura na me ferry. 200,000 yedi 200,000 yedi 5 class artist be bo show. Enti ka be ma sa akodi e sen. Ube ma black o sen. Ube ma stone boy sen. Who say Jimmy? Who needs card? You don't have the money. Obi, I engage you obi the number. I nipano because of the relationship or no work for years. I nipano who say, yo, let me show support to a brother willing to come on board. Why you willing say or ba bueni ni amana you. Na students na fresh after phone. I can't change and say yo or boa na ska ho. Usika ye senya usika ye 200,000. Ope Blacko. Do you know how much Blacko is charging? Do you know how much Sarkodie charges? Do you know how much Stoneboy is charging? Now student a phone na catch and say, yo, don't come. Don't come. Now he's lying. We have the money. Don't come. Now, Obwa, Yesika one ho. SRC Sika is saying, budget for SRM. And I'm in Chom. Hey, train. Me sure as me bet sure how much you budget for SRC week. Senior, a year 200,000 plus artist night. Yepe foreign artists, yepe Blacko, yepe Sarkodie, yepe. Wo budget in a year 200,000 for a whole week. A whole week. 1 week. 1 day event is how much? Stage light sounds, how much? The standard of who tidal rave. Who Echo House for no Crampobi. Do you know how much is a standard of a stage? Well, Rapperholic now of course will Kumase no. Do you know how much? Most of me SRC week ewo pent. And I may say painting yet the whole of University of Ghana. Adentia nipa ya brobe ye. Adentia nipa ya brobe ye jimie. Mwa jimi sa. Mo feel se mo troli obi. Mwa jimi sa. Jimie. Like mwa jimi. Mo de start free school. Na mo de akwa bonting. Na akwaye musu. Mo nsesa. Obi an kama sem. Mwa jimi ana. Share. Charlie, mama charge and why? Esi ana me bufu. Now I start talk. Yanyo sao. Sometimes me ba na me tone down. Charlie, Jimmy o. Mo Jimmy sa fiti school mu na mo backbite na mo se obi na wakwa ka kire ni pa ono ba be bo show aba be tua ka be boa mu na wa fre ni pa na ka kire ne se oboa na mo pesa ade no flop inti mo ma na ye usika na mo Jimmy sa we aboa enti nipa no ba be bo show this ka ba be sponsor me se me ye me ya cry Adanko de na Showboy was the one our person Buama event near successful. 3 days to the event Showboy a positive flyer and I cancel say event is all ma. All because student be a catch and say Yama yesika was the editor and kanti one yin sika near boa. What jare? What Jimmy? Nay. Mwana. Like namo what Jimmy ana na Charlie na what me friend almost like 30 artists. Me friend almost 30 artists. Everybody was willing to come. BI are willing to come. Me say uposi enkrano bi uposi o colleague no be artist fly up and boom no man for phone I can share no oboa Charlie obedi usika Charlie make it not come it a lie. Make whoever thinks say me boa on mon ko Showboy post say one posia oposi afa Showboy on no posi say event no mra so no de colleagues the young chaps no afa ono kra posi say cancel Roma. Catch us me boy. Enti more the idea we start. Meanwhile, majority of the SRC presidents after artists 19 years achi omo kogum because omuntimi ntues ka no ma the artists no. Adenti amoye omo sa. Na Chese SRC event be 2 event what campus modern for money into what is the biggest event or biggest SRC biggest artist and as the biggest whole week what campus someone him hawkro na me mpese me say me school there I mean tone it down. Na sam krana kwa frefre event organizer. Na wo event organizer no unim no babia o waba on board say oba beboa guru ye ni nti obeboa no nti oba beboa no or the machinery ni arsenals eba beboa ma event na ye successful waba all out or frefre or fresh silicon silicon house budget a silicon house the man no Jimmy for Jimmy no one can say oh Jimmy on and say oh nyansa woni ska woni bi Musika entimi nye SRC week emma with the standard of artist nights. Mostly the students capitalize on sponsorships. Now this is the case that there is a COVID on campus. COVID on campus has stopped the idea of getting the sponsors to come on board. You are not soliciting any fund from anybody, and nobody can accrue that amount of money to pump in into your artist nights. When him say artist na you SRC president, so you want him to live up to the standard. Artist now who say or you will lead them, he needs to engage in the colleagues. Even if there is no money, he can engage them because there is some form of understanding, mutual respect. So based on that mutual respect, he will lace it with the colleagues so they come on board in making sure we have a successful event. What Jimmy Bain was idea with him? Mojari. Not okay. 200,000 year artist. Year artist night. Do you have an idea of a standard stage? Would you Mojari? Do you have an idea? Wouldn't you call stage him? More bother more. Wouldn't you call stage him? Oh, come here. Patapakra just saying. What the 200,000 choir artist night? Upe sa akodi upe Stone Boy, upe Blacko, upe Wale. Wonyem. When you bring one, na wuni skano, upe Kwame Yuji, upe Kidi. Jamu bubodamo.
All right, so that was it. It's here for. Let's move on to this particular issue in Sama El Corso. You know, the whole issue between Daddy Lumba and the two wives, you know, it is getting messy and messy by day. Now, I know because there's a new angle about it is very shocking. Mr. Very, very, very shocking. Now, personally, you know, I wish that for the respect of Daddy Lumba and coming cancer in some way, but then Ube Kaisa, Ebra, Ibusanfo no edi a year date ne baye as December 6th, no. And Chibia no yere no, a year the first wife of screens, your friend Akusia Sewa, or day a year in Crater Fini lawyers so bad, say a year no, or basically the injunction better so. And obviously, you know, issues or was here, ye can't home sem. Never recognize you be as that Lumber's wife, it should be her and her alone. Na sanse no kaya no ebusafo no tena se dwen bisa se I didn't know yes I didn't want engage because ye ne be share date kra no ye ne una share date the thief of far from that no ebusafo no so reply reply on party say woman yi some years ago or show letter e brother Lumba say one na ye den one ni tema tete we divorce no fast track and we wu no mami say yem born freeman friend because that the Lumba ni chocho mucho. How is this possible? According to that Lumba the first or Kosia Sewa no, the argument o making yan say Odobroni no a side chick on your wife yen worrying illegally. And na ebusafo ne party say Odobroni she's also recognized as a wife because at the point in time no that the Lumba on no kwaye customary marriage and something sort of into no so no account mamre no she's also recognized as a wife. It's here for the family of that Lumba or reference a certain letter Akosia Sewa or the fan lawyers mu come that Lumba. Okay, same bebre. In fact, it's here for me no case we've intercepted that particular letter. Once again, very sad. But Mr. made the two screens too because you know fan say may ye report in the Juma. It's up pepe and may no. So let us put this particular report on the screens. We and a letter, a copy of the letter yen saka ye mame Sarah ye mame Akosia Sewa or the fan lawyers mu ekoma that Lumba in there no obi say woman can send bebre e kase that Lumba obono ama woman your party say na no ahunu nyina na no apai no that Lumba na hwe no bono sad. Let us read this. Let us read this. we dates na was no wo hwe eye law firm na Mesa and Company, okay? Hona sa company or the form so ebaye. It we divorce proceedings a woman yi eye. Date near February 4th, 2018. And on nipa mo address ne eye Mr. Charles Kojofosu, aka Daddy Lumba, East Legon, Accra. Without prejudice. Dear sir, notice of intention to commence legal proceeding for divorce and ancillary claims. Into woman yi letter the command Daddy Lumba no purchase si ano opeso divorce Daddy Lumba. She wants to officially divorce Daddy Lumba. Aside from that too, Daddy Lumba essence on any war ban or person or certain properties efini ho. We ena letter na ebusuafo no eka ho nsem se akosua se wa na o se en bon hweman friend no time a Daddy Lumba yare se bi ontimi nkotie fi edu time ebebo ne pampers odunso kan se waso ne bememu. She was nowhere to be found. Abai we ya muso psychic or no na sebi o papa kweja na egu ne ho kra otete ene we wuyi ye ba be sie no o see we na ye first wife for where the same first wife to you wrote a letter to the family to say penny bi na ne otiase no o see ye fa ne japade emma this any letter there to screen you read it. Yeah, start it with your WhatsApp because be reading in a boom. Also, we represent Miss Akosua Fosu, who legally wedded wife, we represent Miss Akosua Fosu, your legally wedded wife in Bochum, Germany, or I'm say Bochum, Germany, also known as Sewa. Hereinafter refer to us as our clients and also act as co-counsel and agents for her counsel in Germany and write this letter to you upon her instructions. Our instructions are that 34 years. Our instructions are that for 34 years, you have known our clients and as your wife with whom you have 3 children, but without reasonable cause, you have deserted the matrimonial home for the past 5 years and have gone to marry another woman with whom you now stay and have many children. Even though you know that bigamy is a criminal act, you boldly refer to your mistress and hold her out in public on social and media platforms as your wife regarding the penal consequences and in particular in total disdain to the validity subsisting marriage you have with our clients. Intercourse sewa apache say the lawyer say apache say we share that Lumba ni makosia sewa ni 34 years ache very old very a lot of years and no pass akosia sewa no oni na wo miensa oni akosia sewa awo miensa na from 2018 omo chose a letter on say for the past 5 years, which means from 2013 that Lumba oni woman no omu hyiaye ohun no because that Lumba we 2 abetina Ghana na wo ye nu kra fi ho a ne mba miensa e wo se that Lumba otini ni show mo obey available in their lives no. Daddy Lumba is not present. Daddy Lumba is not present in the lives of these 3 children. Akosia Sewa and Daddy Lumba ewo. Na onim se sisi ano so woman no Akosia Sewa ne hu se Daddy Lumba eja ne ho no okọ Ghana no akọware oba afoforo. Oni oba afoforo ne te. Onam social media wakache amansense ne yiri fufuo nie. Ne yiri fufuo nie. Se bebia obekọ bia oni abayewa no ene ekọ. Ebro nim say sisi an we German citizen o ware obi foforo a bigamy, marrying 2 people, a criminal act. Yento aso. Our client says that she has now discovered to her chagrin that in addition to the 3 children you have with her, you have other 17 more children born out of wedlock through your numerous mistresses and concubines, some of whom were her close associates. According to our clients, you are altogether one thing. Utterly carefree and a cheat. Or patche say, Akosia Sewa Sisia patche say, Charles Kojofosu. Ebra, Sisia an only in temtite ya sebe 5 years from 2013 to 2018, no pen. Okay? Sometime ni na no wo no eno nya ne tie se hwe. Daddy Lumba wo ka ne ho nsem no ne ade no. Tio, Daddy Lumba no nam ho no. Oyobia ne mbankwa oni omaba wiase with different other women 17. Now far from that too your friend is saying Far from that too, one more or more yet than now for that lumba nangasa akusia se wonangasa nan for that lumba ni ebi ma da anyem. Asa that lumba ne bankwa ekwo 17. Nto no akosia se wa ne that lumba de miensa. Se wa broni on that lumba de 6. And other people to come one. Okani nyina bu me ko be 14 or 16 or sahin. And all parties say kan sem ni nyina bu ma. Ono that lumba no. Or you cheat. But can you be waha? Or say according to our clients, you are all together one thing, utterly carefree and a cheat. To apart say, Sisi and Sana Nema Kono, or no Akosia se was a sebio, or no be a din shim, or no be a chimp na, and your young one, that lumba son or you cheat and or you carefree on the nam. She opines that contrary to your cool public image, you have countlessly violently abused her physically and psychologically, that she has many marks on her body and an almost deformed lip to confirm your violent and abusive nature. Tumpa say all this while that lumba oni obani dem ni nyina no na opono e wo Germany ho. Oshino Emma say wa hwe say we nim kra emfa say wa ni video into in the picture and in the video into screen so. Bonse say wa na no ache asa. Or patch say na no ache nyina no eye daddy lumba e na abono. Hwe na no asena no no ne lip no ase fa no ahono. Or patch say that lumba na hwe na no na ye de ahono saa. A violent nature that lumba eden edi aye no yento aso ahase. Apart from said that lumba ebono no that lumba violent and abusive in nature. Imbakasa he was violent to me, he was abusive. I say one day the say anyway, yento aso. She says she has borne all the inhumane treatment and simmered her painful sentiments underneath her in the name of love for the sake of her children. But then you have interpreted it as a weakness. She says she doubts if you would ever regard her or treat her as a human being. She says you have denied her of all her conjugal rights, including into a part just say all this while nina obeka sad na that lumba or show or boo or nimba bebre and one kasa out to ni ma didi na tem. Akusia say I don't know thing or say eyodunti. And another lumba ayodasem. Obi say be voice. Ayodasem. Sifa dem akodi. It is interesting. Yento aso. I see, and all attempts to encourage you to reason or resolve issues have proved futile and hopeless. Into pass all this while not try on that lumba. Ebeka se kojo dia now ye yentna se awari ndibi na maya fa chemi still that lumba so madudu okrumi feel. Regardless, she says recently she lost her mother, but he refused to attend the burial rites. Instead of comforting or consoling her as customary demands, she was rather shocked to hear that you had gone around cruelly slandering her that she wanted to kill you and poison your food. In fact, you know to be palpably untrue. Into a part say, 2018 nimuno. Akusa se wase ohwe ne maame na ebra ohwe ne maame na ohu ohwe mpo se that lumba se mayo boni po se dien wan kasa kwotran baby ka se ebra o first love eye your friend is saying your friend is saying Teresa abebre se wu ye kramia na me ye ni nyina ejina mu together with Teresa abebre se ne maame mia na me gina mu ye ni nyina. So my boni po na me ene friend say akusia se me ma me ewu anka bra lumba nko ena lumba ni na mabonte ka se your friend say ye ma me eze mi kumi hu me nipa mi kumi ne nipa pa cha mi nipa Ose mi kumi hu me nipa be de mi ye na ye nipa fe ye shada ma me duro se mi num wa me wo na iti opa se say dwom na that lumba epo ye no that lumba was referring to her akosia sewa we are see yo insemo we are say Emma that lumba eni na me ka se ono eye your friend is saying akusa sewa or the poison in bottle and a good that lumbe do eduanu mu se onwu fi wiase preko and o see that lumbe nim se sansem na nya no krem She says she cannot bear this inhumane treatment anymore or continue to wait endlessly for you and waste away. Accordingly, she has caused your hair drink to be returned to your family receipts with your acknowledgement, signifying your intention to part company with you. The part says, "See, and the akosia say, untimi ntina ho, said you 62 years ah. Ono so your ba said you, ni hu sisi ni ho so. Atias, or your ba said ni hu sisi ni ho so. Intina den the day no. Say ba ni say ya, yes so wa. Ono so be pese you know, obenya be ma wona brabo. Na be ma be na wona brabo mu 5 years so hu ni dey. Eni ntino ode eye be ma ni tinsa akoma ne busuafo, e no the address aka ho. Our instructions are that during the subsistence of your marriage, you jointly acquired many properties together as a man and wife in Bochum, Germany, Accra and Kumasi. Besides, it's our client's case that she remains validly wedded to you as your wife. She's entitled to an equal share, half of all your worldly possessions acquired during your subsistence of your marriage with her. Japan say a bra or worry that lumba no pay say on that lumba omwan wudi omusika abom ena omaye de omaye japade bebre ebi wo Kumasi ebi wo Accra ebi wo Germany intisisi ano sa properties ni nyina no o pese that the lumba onti asesi asa properties no owo mu chefa 50% inti o kan de ope na de aka on fani nyina. Accordingly, we have our instructions to make the following proposal to you for immediate consideration toward an effective settlement. To pass see ane de ye hia ye mebi, okay? Sa niema na ye hia no ye hia se obeje atum se fa sa niema we nyina ema akosi asewa oyere. Number 1, formally and peacefully apply for divorce within 10 days. You see that lumba on saka we apply for the divorce in 10 days. Grant her custody of her 2 girls. You see that lumba on akosi asewa mbaba mienu be ma ba. Nti mbaba mienu ne de onu nya full custodian so ono be hwe mbofra no. 3. Determine a monthly maintenance sum for the girls. And you say on kasisi ano on pesika monthly figure anasika emuye do every month. Obecha say si ano me mami ensa no me de sika we more every month because mundi 18. Take care of the education of all 3 kids until they all finish university. Ni pa si ano hwembofra ni nyina akopimta mo nyina be university. 5. Determine an alimony for her. And yes, it say sisi ano ejapade and old money say ono sunji also ofa say. 6. Grant her the following houses. And yes, sisi ano in fear that lumba wono offer we a mano. House at Bochum, Germany, yefa mano. 2. House at Central Hill, please renovate fully. If you know what Central Hill is, you see that lumba on renovate no fama. Akosi asewa. 3. House at Dome, please renovate fully. If you are Dome, so you see enfama or no. Akosi asewa say enfama. House at North Legon, please renovate fully. Yes, and if you are North Legon, so no that lumba akosi asewa say enfama no. 2 plots of land at Aduato Kumasi and also see enfama. See 2 plots of land at that lumba any day Aduato no Kumasi enfama no. Take all the remaining properties in Accra, Germany, and elsewhere. And I say see ano. Onfa properties bia kebia no onfa ni nyina na de owa ha say no onfa mano. We have our client's instruction to serve this notice on you. Please take notice that if the above humble proposal is not satisfactory to you or we do not hear from within 10 days of service, we have her express instruction to immediately commence divorce proceedings against you and will claim half of the value of every possession you own in Ghana, Germany, and elsewhere, including ancillary orders. For this is basically a year in Sema that lumba that lumba ne edibetu jamino say no it has been captured. Amount for party say the bush and phone Sema no more say at the point in time ami ya or say be born freeman friendly na sebi or say on Charles kojo fosu or muntem atete into no ordinance mana or so person we now. This was 2018. Okay, so probably 7 years before that lumba's demise. It's here for a same baby. But obia sem dear yen canipi tie de nu besi ha because in some dear okay say o kan na sabi akwan nsem because he busua bim any nsem pi. But then it is our hope say they kind of settled this peacefully. Because in Penny4 can say say if ye be a mensa womb, if ye be a mensa womb, our real dear, our real dear, simple. So that is exactly what is really going on. I think for a year sema air coso. Now straight up the young call a year the health minister Minta Akando. So health minister over the weekend no, and at some almost 2 weeks ago, some students were protesting. Students, some nurses were protesting. Say, "Omu sanka, omu sika 10-month salary." Papa in the health minister, omu chema, waba and wabe meki a year. Your friend is saying speech. Obama full speech ni be. And then we are very much aware. We are working towards. But for yes, anyway, we trying to nipo eno be say share. Girl back say team no kase. Papa ya minister ya waba beka say. Debia o kasa or your drama king. I'm an trendy with social media. It's for me no say there is an issue to that. I mean no say honest no cry penasa keno. But I mean no say Minta Kando wababe reply in regards with the whole non-payment of nurses. They are to just say me no say you know government is working to include all unpaid nurses in their next fiscal year budget. Video
We recently had some junior doctors threatening to go on strike. They have started work without clearance, without salaries, without pay. Again, we collaborated with the Ministry of Finance, and as I speak to you now, we have succeeded in getting them clearance, and they are being migrated onto the payroll. We had about 800 medical doctors who had finished their housemanship, but they were still at home without clearance. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Finance has issued clearance, and all these medical doctors are going to start work with immediate effect. And with this one, our priority areas are in the rural areas. So it was not only the issue of the 13,500 nurses and midwives. There were pharmacists who had completed their housemanship as far back from 2023 to 2024 who had not been paid. We inherited that. And those people have been paid. I am telling you what we inherited and what we have done about them and what we are doing about them. We had more than 17,000 rotational nurses, allied health professionals who also didn't have clearance as far as their rotation was concerned. By the grace of God, we have secured clearance for these more than 17,000 health professionals.
So that was the health minister Minta Kando. I'll patch say Ujuma Koso. Now you know the funny thing. Nurse now of Kasi Minta Kando said they be almost salary by na Minta Kando be jama speech on the media forecast YouTube channel. Oka o mass speech we penu akwatena se. Ontu omo no masa atena ho. Omuntu a rent they are not. How did they even survive? And into okase Minta Kando Nyankopon be tua ne ka en na sofo nyina. Osan so frɛ Minta Kando a drama king. Now drama king no and I mean no say health minister ko share some nurses, students, nurses, and doctors. They take for hey dibe ne the free minister. Wa hwe ye ba ye beto aso.
Drama kid. Our minister, what you do? What you do now?
Hey, they have so many talents. Yes, maybe tell alone.
So Minister Gyamfi saw a drama king. That is the light part of it. And I like the way he's making mockery of the whole serious situation. Regardless, I mean, no say no. Shatawale, Charles Nyama Mensa, now saying, or we posted say was submitted the Rain album. Ama Grammy said they should consider to nominate it. Meaning say results now by results. But people are believing say Shatta Wale might be able to pull off his first Grammy win because of his collaboration with Vybz Kartel. Remember, Vybz Kartel is regarded as a dancehall king and all of that. And that Vybz Kartel so by you know, if we prison by all in the concert Shatta Wale could be. Emma, the street crown no cry. Why you home remix near the other. Yanko T and some fans are saying about this. They are petitioning Grammy to consider Shatta Wale's if anything, Street Crown album was a then yen video by a better so.
See, you know, in the olden days, our grandmothers and our grandfathers